This is Dan Seifert with The Verge, and taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy S6, which is being announced here at MWC in Barcelona. It's a completely redesigned flagship phone for Samsung. It looks significantly different than the Galaxy S5 that preceded it. It's also being announced with the Galaxy S6 Edge, which has a curved display, but the S6 has a flat screen as a pretty typical standard screen for most smartphones. There's a Gorilla Glass 4 front as well as Gorilla Glass on the back, and it's a metal frame. As you can see, it goes all the way around, and it goes through the phone for structural stability. It's a significantly upgraded in terms of looks and feel and design over the Galaxy S5, which used a lot of plastic components. The screen is a 5.1-inch Quad HD panel. It really looks great. It's super AMOLED, as most Samsung displays are. It's very bright, very vibrant, as come to expect from Samsung screens. Below the screen is a new fingerprint sensor that works just by touching your fingerprint to it, as opposed to swiping like the older sensors. The front-facing camera is 5 megapixels, and it uses a wider angle lens than the Galaxy S5 did. But around back, there's a new 16 megapixel camera. You can see it kind of doesn't lay flush with the back here, but it's a brighter lens. It's a faster camera. Samsung says there's a lot of tricks in here to make it a better camera than ever before. They've adjusted the processing, adjusted the color to address many of the complaints that users have had with the cameras in the past. Next to it is a LED flash, as well as an IR sensor and heart rate monitor. The new IR sensor actually is able to determine white balance, so it's more accurate white balance, and the camera itself has a new autofocus tracking mode. Globally, the Galaxy S6 is going to have Samsung's octa-core Exynos processor, but the company isn't saying exactly what's going to be inside of it for the US market. This one's paired with 3 gigabytes of RAM. It's going to be available in 32, 64, and 128 gigabyte versions, but there's no micro SD card slot as on Samsung's older models. Additionally, the battery on the Galaxy S6 is 2550 milliamp hours, and it's internal, so you can't remove it, you can't swap it, which is something that Samsung phones have long allowed you to do. Samsung's is integrating built-in wireless charging that works with both Qi and PMA pads, so you can wirelessly charge it on almost anything that's out there. And it has Samsung's quick charging if you're using a cable, so you can get a really you can get 50% charge in about 30 minutes of charging time. Additionally, the speaker's been moved to the bottom. Samsung says it's 1.5 times louder than the S5 and sounds crisper and clearer and with better bass response. Overall, the Galaxy S6 is a pretty significant improvement in terms of design and aesthetics and feel over Samsung's older phones. It really feels nice in your hand, it feels nice when you're using it, and it looks pretty nice too. It'll be available in Q2 across the world and probably on every carrier that you can find.